Joining us this morning, Business Insider editor-in-chief Henry Blodgett and Confide's co-founder and president, former AOL Ventures president John Broder with us at Post 9. Morning, guys. It's good to have you. Are you surprised, Henry, at the resilience of tech? I mean, I don't mean just this year, but the NASDAQ outperforming in 2012 and 2013 and 2015 and 2017. Several times this decade it's has.
No, I'm not surprised to see tech outperforming, because that is where a huge amount of the value in the economy is shifting. You're seeing this across media and retailing and Google and Facebook and so forth, so I'm not surprised by that. Amazon's valuation is surprising, and I say that as a shareholder for a long time. I'm not a trader. I don't care if it gets cut back, but it is now at the level where you have to imagine an incredibly rosy future on lots of different businesses, including creating amazing new ones that we haven't thought of to get there. This is true across tech. As you know, I'm concerned about the market valuation overall. I don't think tech is outsized on that, but I do look at Amazon and say, wow, those are big eyes there.
John, when you look at what's happening in the content business, where Amazon plays, where Facebook is trying to play, what is the message overall? Because we've seen BuzzFeed stepping back from certain types of social content, making cuts, Vox doing that as well. Is this a move to premium, or is there something beyond that that all of these tech giants need to be paying attention to?
I think it's largely a move to premium. Video and premium content seems to be what's got the wood behind it, where advertisers are going, and I think that's the future, notwithstanding the fact that both Facebook and Google represent about 60% of internet revenues in this country, and I think about half around the world.
Do you think people are overplaying regulatory risk when it comes to at least Alphabet and Facebook?
I do. I do. Yeah, I don't see regulations coming down soon for them. I certainly hope not. I think they can continue to innovate. I think they can, to some extent, regulate themselves. I think they need to do a better job of that than they have historically. But I think the spotlight is on them now, and now's the time to act.
Is part of doing a better job regulating themselves maybe rewriting the algorithms and bringing in more human oversight, especially in light of some of these conspiracy videos that we've seen wrongly promoted?
Absolutely.
Henry?
They have built these distribution monsters that are clearly outside of their control, given what's happening. We just had it yesterday where a top video was shared all over the world, conspiracy theories about actors in the school shooting. It's just deeply offensive, and you imagine traditional media, legacy media companies ever participating in anything like that, they'd be crucified. So the platforms have to get much better. Hopefully we won't go so far that it becomes the legacy media standard, where you have these absurd rules about, oh, you can't have any nudity, but you're allowed to show people getting killed all the time. Hopefully we don't get to that level, but it's got to get somewhere in between, where it's a much safer environment for clients and people using the medium.
Yeah. This is an existential threat for the platform. People are weaponizing the platform. I think, if there's one positive about this, it's that this is going to keep happening, right? So this happens every election, every national tragedy, every social movement, take a knee, et cetera, which will keep it top of mind for us, and it will defeat the sort of quick news cycles that we're seeing on some other issues. And so that gives me hope. I think, YouTube hired 10,000 moderators recently. Twitter came out yesterday with a plan to defeat bots. I believe this is the beginning. I think it's going to take a while. Nothing's going to be 100% foolproof, but I am optimistic that they will get their acts together.
Really? Because people point to yesterday's YouTube algo as another sign of failure. I mean, they've been at this for a while now. Yeah. So when do we start seeing changes in how these things trend?
I think over the next 12 to 18 months. I think the spotlight is on now. I think not only is government sort of applying a pressure, but advertisers are starting to apply pressure. We saw Unilever threaten to pull their...
Right. So you don't think they were just gaming ad rates, trying to talk down the market?
No, look, the big picture here is that Silicon Valley and media, the media industry, have always been oil and water. Silicon Valley has wanted to say, oh, it's just a platform. All that content stuff is other people's problems. We have nothing to do with it. And we're now seeing the extension of that, which is when you build media distribution platforms that are this powerful, you have a responsibility to use them responsibly. So Otherwise, you are helping forces in the world that they don't want to be associated with.
So I wonder what the takeaway is from the reaction yesterday. Because on the one hand, I mean, come on, who didn't see this coming? You know, the conspiracy theorists around the school shooting. So it's kind of crazy that YouTube let that go up. But then YouTube's reaction, pretty quick. And Facebook said, oh, by the way, we're not allowing any of these posts attacking the high school students. They're not having that reflexive, it's just a platform, it'll police itself reaction anymore.
No, that's right. I think they have learned. Look, we're actually in control of media and communications worldwide now. We need to take this step toward responsibility. To John's point, though, it's going to take time. And to Carl, to your point, it's not, it's a failure, but it's another opportunity to get better. And I think the way ultimately they resolve it is you just come up with tiers. There are media producers of a certain quality that you trust. They go in the tier that is pretty accessible most of the time and distributed. And then do other things bubble up occasionally that have that merit and should get the same distribution power? Sure, why not? That's great. But you don't have to immediately spray them everywhere.
Now you're getting into another fraught conversation about who deserves a blue check and who doesn't.
I'm sorry, it is only fraught if you have this, you come at it from a completely idealistic, libertarian, oh, who are we to judge viewpoint, as opposed to saying, no, this is the reality of the media business. This is why television has been so regulated for so long. And again, I hope we don't go that far, because some of the regulations are absurd, but it is just the responsibility. You have this platform. Yes, you have to take responsibility for what's on it.
Okay, I get this argument that regulations, maybe television, we don't go that far, but we're talking about Facebook as if it's a media company. Facebook likes to think of itself as like a straight up tech company. So at what point do you see some of those media-like regulations, maybe not the crazy ones, come into play here?
And I think we are seeing that shift. The response from yesterday is important to note. And so I believe over the next 12 to 18 months, we will start to see some of this. And if not, the government's going to step in, advertisers are going to pull out, and potentially competitors can come in and disrupt. So I think the spotlight is shining brightly. This is going to remain top of mind because it is systemic, and that gives me hope. And
again, look at the speed with which the companies reacted, to John's point. It's good. It's a big change from a year ago where they were saying, just a tech company. We have nothing to do with this. They are starting to embrace that responsibility. It's going to take a while. Right. They've created these incredible technology monsters. I mean, they actually have to get under the hood and figure out how to do it. It's hard.
Though their explanation was kind of weird. It had a legitimate news organization's content in it, so we thought it was fun. Well, it wasn't a legitimate news organization that posted it, so why didn't you look at that?
But this is part of the this is complex. It's not simple. We're going to try we are going to try different things. Some are going to fail. They're going to be false positives. But they are finally owning up to this, and I believe we're going to start to see some things.
And in the meantime, I mean, until solutions bear fruit, is engagement at risk? We just had a long discussion about what's happened to Facebook's core app engagement in the last couple of months of last year.
Well, I think one of the changes Facebook made where they stripped out a lot of videos and professional content, I think a lot of people don't like that. And others, maybe there's less engagement. They warned about that. But no, on the surface, maybe there's small changes in engagement, but pretty much every improvement to the civility of the dialogue has ultimately increased the value to everybody. Twitter, they have done some stuff to make it a little more pleasant to be on there. They still have a long way to go, but the more restrictions they put in place, the better. Everyone loves that.
I think that's right. I think potential short-term hit in engagement, medium, long-term, not.
One last question. Can I ask about Kylie Jenner's tweet, which I'm sure you both saw? Snap's down 6%. And we pointed out earlier, it's worse than when Citi went to sell on Tuesday. Henry?
The new stock analyst. Kylie Jenner's powerful.
I know.
She dissed it. She said, nobody I know uses it anymore.
To 24
That's a
million
pretty
people.
Scary statement. Exactly.
What do you think's being said in the halls of Snap today?
I don't know. Let's call
Somebody
Kylie.
Call Kylie, quick. Yeah. Maybe she likes the new version.
Exactly.
Guys, thanks. Henry, John, good to see you both.
Pleasure.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.